Hi, I just wanted to do a quick video to show how I would format a research paper, um, transferring it from my blog or a blog into a Microsoft Word document. I'm doing this on a Mac, so the details may be a little bit different. You may have a different version of Word, or you may be working on a PC. But I'll show you the different things that you need to keep in mind when you're doing this. Okay, so I have this research paper. I think I'm going to remember the title. So I'm going to get down to the bottom. We get a works cited page. And get this up here, get down to here. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. Then I'm going to open up Microsoft Word and open up a new document. And I'm going to paste it. Okay, now a few things I need to worry about in terms of MLA format. First of all, let's get it in the right type font. MLA style calls for Times New Roman 12 point, and here you can see we've got 10 point. So I'm going to select the entire document with Control A and just move this up to 12 point. Okay, now I'm going to do an MLA header. Their headers used a couple different ways. One is for something that appears at the top of each page. In MLA, that type of a header is the Microsoft Word definition of a header. In MLA will be your last name and a page number. In MLA terms, a header is what appears on page 1 of your paper, which will be your name, and I'm making up some name here, and then your instructor's name. Then you're going to have the course name and number, and then the date. Yeah. Okay, now usually you want to have a title that can help to focus your essay and give your reader an idea of what the essay is going to be about. So this essay was called something like Community Supported Agriculture. Okay, and that's going to be centered on the page. So I'll highlight this and then click the little centering thing. Okay, now I want this to be double spaced the whole way down. We're just double spacing here. It looks a little spacey here, but then you don't add in any extra space. It's double spaced all the way through. So we're going to double space the rest of this essay. And put on here. Okay, now the double spacing, we can do that here. There are a couple different ways to do it, but this is the obvious one here. Okay. All right. Now, so this is the MLA header. Then we want to put the header over here, which is going to be the last name of the writer here. So Brown, and then we want a page number. Now, this is the thing that can be a little tricky depending on what version of Word or whatever word processor you have. It's changed as Word has gone through different versions. Remember, any word processor you've got has somewhere a help feature. So if you can't figure out how to do it, click on the little question mark or help up at the top to find out how to do this. Now I kind of do this by the seat of my pants, and let's see if I can remember how to do this. If we click on document elements, okay, and again, this is going to look different if you have a different version of Word, potentially. So we're going to click on this header here. We want just this basic one. Okay, now what we want over here is Brown. So we're going to type that, and then we'll just delete these other ones. Okay, and then we want a page number, and is this going to work if I do this? And header, right align, page number. Okay, and then close. Now, students sometimes think that they have to go in and type this on every page. If you do that, what happens if you make any editing changes along the way, um, the brown and the page number is going to float around. It might not always be at the top. Whereas if you use the header function here in your word processor, um, it's automatically fixed. This is fixed at the top of the page, and notice how the page numbers are incremented. Brown, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Okay, so we're done there. Now just in terms of formatting, in terms of paragraphing, on the blog, what's normal is block format, which is what you see here. But when you transfer from the blog to paper, you want to indent these paragraphs. So sometimes, and this person looks like there's kind of an indent, but not. So I'm using a tab to do that, not spacing across. This person clearly has spaced across instead of tabbed. Okay. And we'll do that. And see, he's got nice in-text citations here. I don't know what that green underline means. There may be some grammar issues there. And again, I'm going to change these to standard indents rather than his spaced across things. Okay, so I go through the paragraphs. Notice that there isn't any extra space here. There shouldn't be extra space between the paragraphs. So on the blog, you've got block format. The paragraphs start out at the margin, and you use extra space between the paragraphs to set the paragraphs apart. On Microsoft Word, when you're doing things in documents, the convention is indented paragraphs to set the paragraphs off and then not to space between them. Okay, so now we're going to go down to the bottom here. Okay, so here we've got his works cited. The works cited should appear at the top of a new page. So sometimes students will go in here and they'll just hit the enter button, key a bunch of times, return key a bunch of times until works cited comes to the top of the page. Again, that's the same as typing the header here, your last name and a page number at the top of every page. If you make any editing changes along the way, that works cited is going to float. That's what happens if you sometimes will print something out and you'll see a works cited starting down at the top here, in the middle of a page, or you'll see some kind of odd placement of that. So rather than spacing it, we're going to put it at the top of the page. So to do that, you're going to force a page break. So in my version of Microsoft Word, sorry, but it's up off the top of what you can see, but right at the top of my screen, on my insert menu, there's a place to insert a page break. So that's what I want to do right here, and that forces this up to the top of a new page, which is what we want. So we've got this blank space here. And if I did any editing, I could add or subtract whatever in this text. This is still going to be at the top of the next new page. Okay, now the next thing we want to look at this works cited page. It's going to be a little bit different on Essay 3. You have an annotated bibliography, so there'll be paragraphs in here. Don't worry about exactly how those paragraphs are formatted. If you just bring them out to the margin and put them here, it's fine. I just want to show you the general formatting for a research paper in terms of line spacing and indenting and all that. One thing you want to look at, just double check to make sure that your entries are alphabetized, and we can see this is not, because we go C, B. So I think this person may have thought that there's no title, so this is like a blank, and then he's got B, J, S, so that's may have been why he put that first. But they get alphabetized, just whatever it starts with, whether it's the author's last name or the title, they get intermingled. So I'm going to move that, so I'll get rid of that, and I want to go down here and go up here, and then I'm going to paste that and get rid of my extra space. Okay, so I have this like that. So now things are alphabetized. The other thing we want to do is, if you looked at the MLA formatting, notice that these are not numbered, so don't add numbers. What does set the entries apart in MLA is what you use what's called a hanging indent, which means it's the opposite of a regular paragraph. With a paragraph, the first line is indented and everything else comes out to the margin. With a hanging indent, the first line is out to the margin and these whatever lines come after that are indented. So that's for each entry. So I have this here to do a hanging indent. Again, you could do it the seat of the pants way and go here and tab across, but the Microsoft Word gives you a nicer way to do this. So I'm going to go back to my home page, and again, this may be different places if you're with a different version. And so let me see, actually, I want the format. I want to get a paragraph format. So however you get it, you want this screen. On a PC, it's usually, there's a formatting thing here, and there's a little arrow here, and you click on that, it'll open paragraph formatting. Okay, so hanging indent is this under this special. You click hanging, and then you apply that, and that automatically shifts things over. So that should be what your research paper should look like. So you've got, go back to the beginning, we've got the header here, your name, my name, English 101 or whatever the course name is, the date, you've got your last name and a page number, you've got everything double spaced, you've got a title, you've got, you finish your text here, and then the works cited goes at the top of the next page, so force a page break to do that, and then double check your works cited, make sure things are alphabetized, double spaced, hanging indent. He has his hyperlinks here. If you want to leave those from your blog, that would be great. It's not part of MLA formatting. It's nice for me to be able to do that, to have those handy. And of course, if you print things out, it'll just print as black if you've got just a black ink in your printer. Okay, so you know, don't sweat the details too much, but this is basically what MLA formatting should look like. I gave you a couple links. Let's click out of here. Do I want to? No, save this. If I go back to the blog and I'm in the dashboard, get out of the dashboard, go back to the blog. So the links that I gave you are kind of buried here. Whoops, sweet. Purdue OWL has a page on MLA formatting that I link you to. It's got a little video if you want to look at that. I haven't checked that out myself yet. General guidelines. So it goes over most. It's got a little more picky details than I mentioned. 1 inch on all sides is usually the default in Microsoft Word. I think, okay, so here's a sample. Looks very similar to what I just did. So you might want to check that out, or I also, if you think Diana Hacker is a little more clear and hers it isn't quite so wordy a page, you can see her version there. And there is a sample research paper that you can get to by clicking here. There are a couple other minor formatting issues for long quotations, and there are probably some other things that slip my mind right now. But that'll give you the basics, and if anything unusual comes up, feel free to shoot me an email.